Falconer X. Cam, can you chill the Cormani McClain haters?
Look, man, Cormani McClain's going to go where Cormani McClain's going to go. So get that in your head already. You know, do I want him to be a Miami Hurricane? Absolutely. I'm not speaking out of turn because I might have said this on the timeline. If I didn't say it on the timeline, I'm saying it now. I wrote him off in this class when his mother tweeted 14 minutes before his supposed signing ceremony on Wednesday of the early signing period that he was not signing. That was the day. Then I said, oh, word? Bye. I've followed recruiting for more than 20 years. I've been around it, blogging it for 12 to 15. I've seen this kind of a thing before. And where this really comes from is during the All-American game, the Under Armour All-American game yesterday, he was being interviewed by Matt Schick of ESPN. And he was like, okay, so what's up with your recruitment? He goes, yeah, I'm still committed to Miami. He goes, okay, well, are there any teams that you're like, any other teams you're considering? He goes, Miami, with this big smile, this nervous smile on his face, admittedly. And everything. He's like, yeah, but I'm signing on the 15th. And then Matt Schick followed up, like, are there any other teams, that you're considering? No, that's it. And I think this is my outside read. Number one, it was not convincing to me. I do not believe that the only team he's considering is Miami at all, for a variety of reasons, both internal to this recruitment and external, taking in observations from previous. And I just don't think that, I just don't buy his act of like naivete. You know what I mean? Like like you go on the field and you talk that talk and then like all of a sudden you cross the sideline and then you're just like meek as can be and like, I don't know. I don't like it's disingenuous to me. I don't believe it. I really don't. And I know some people are saying, that's just who he is. And he's just this really shy kid and blah, blah, blah. It's one thing to be shy. It's another thing to never do recruiting interviews. You know what I mean? Like that's an intentional move, and I did not find it to be genuine that he was only considering Miami. He also said he's going to sign on the 15th. I have no idea what he's going to sign on the 15th because that's a Sunday. And I mean, like, again, you cannot sign an NLI right now because the window's closed. You have to wait until February the 1st. You can sign a non-binding financial aid agreement, which binds the school to the player, but not the player to the school. If you remember, famously, Dalvin Cook sent in financial aid agreements to Florida, Florida State, and Miami. So the schools were tied to him. If he would have showed up, they would have had to allocate him a scholarship. But as we all know, he went to Florida State. Cool, right? So you can do that. It's Martin Luther King Sunday, so you're not going to physically register anywhere. The deadline to register at, a lot of places are different days. If you're talking about Florida, their registration deadline is the 13th. If you're talking about Colorado, I think theirs is like the 19th. Miami's is like the 20-something because we don't even start school there until next week, whereas like Florida starts this week. Florida starts next week. Miami doesn't start for 2 weeks until after King Day Monday. But like, what are you signing on Sunday, bro? You know what I mean? Like, you're not signing. I mean, if you wanted to say like I'm announcing on Sunday, that's one thing, but he's always used the verbiage signing. And I'm so sorry. Words mean things. So I don't know. That's a nice reverse layup. Oh, you missed it though. I don't know what he's signing. I mean, I guess, hey, if he wants to announce, again, that's one thing. But yeah, and I brought the registration dates because if he's working through an academic thing and he's trying to get on campus for spring, then, you have a week at one school, nine days real time, or 13 days, 14 days at other schools to physically register for class before the end of the drop ad period at the beginning of the semester. So yeah, I'm not really certain, but in any event, there are people who are like hating on Cormani. And I think that to Falcon Rex's point, is wrong. This is a life decision. This is a major decision. I've talked about the fact that, like, I skipped 4 classes the one day I had to decide where I was going to go as a student with some scholarships one time, like partial scholarships to multiple different schools, not an athletic scholarship or anything. You know what I mean? But, like, still, that was a major decision for me. And, like, I took 4 out of the 8 periods of the day at Cranbrook, and I stayed in my car on a cell phone calling people at different schools and deciding and working it out at the last second because it's this major thing. So, like, I think that those of us who've gone through these things, we forget that at a time, like, we were young and had to make a major, major decision. And everybody has a different process for it. And if this is the process for whatever reason, might not like it, but it's his. And though clearly, as I'm wearing my, home field Miami shirt, I have a rooting interest here. For the good of the Miami Hurricanes football program, I would prefer if Cormani McClain chose the University of Miami. But if it is not, then, the sun will come up tomorrow. The world keeps spinning. These bills still going to be billing, all those different kind of things. And I will honestly wish him well and keep it pushing. And I hope that the people who are so invested, and, like, I know that I'm invested because, like, I have commented on it. People have seen me comment on it. I commented on that interview during the game yesterday from the State of the U Twitter account. I am clearly invested, but I'm not invested to the point of hatred of the player or anything like that. I think that that's maybe a bridge too far. So, I mean, I do have my view on it. I do have my hopes for it. But if he ends up choosing somewhere that's other than the University of Miami, wish him well. Good luck, Godspeed. Keep it pushing.
The critic out there is going to say, well, in this day and age, if he makes a mistake or doesn't want to stay at a particular school, he can just jump in the transfer portal. And that's all true. But at the same time, you don't want to get your career off to a bad start, making a bad choice.
So I mean, you don't want to, but also you can, recover from that.
You can.
Tyreek Stevenson, Frank Ladson, both South Florida guys, went other places, other very good programs in Georgia and Clemson, respectively, and said, you know what? Nah, come back to the crib. Hey, Jonathan Dennis, teammate of theirs from South Dade before they moved on. He goes to Oregon to play for Cristobal and then comes on that. Look, we've seen it all over the world of college football. And could that be a path for Cormani where, like, he decides to go somewhere else and then, a year or two down the line? Because, yeah, both Ladson and Stevenson were there for multiple years in their previous stops before coming back to Miami. Maybe it's until 2024 after the season going into 25 that he says, you know what? Hey, I'm going back to the crib. That could be it, But either way, even if he doesn't, get that hate out your heart. Honestly and truly.
Falcon Rex, he knows where the funding for that new football facility is coming from.
Hey, man, when I was in college, we had the joke that our tuition paid for the upkeep of a single grand royal palm tree, which is about $45,000 to $50,000 a year. So my friends and I, we all picked out our trees. So if anybody watching knows campus, if you're going past the new music library towards like the Rathskeller and the new Shalala Student Center, on the side of the Student Center, when you turn to go that way up the lake or past Lake Osceola, on the left, nearest the Rathskeller, count 1, 2, 3. That third royal palm tree was my royal palm tree. You're welcome.
So you made that determination. Hey, this is
we all just one. We went and picked one. And I was like, because before they built that was like a little loading dock area towards the back of Gusman Concert Hall where we'd have all our concerts and everything. So I was like, this seems like a good place on campus. That one. And yeah, the third one on the left as you're walking towards the University Center right there. That was my palm tree.
$45,000 to $50,000 to purchase and maintain.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, but I mean, those are the big ones. Those are the, 20, 25, 30 foot.
Yeah.
Real wide. It takes 5 people to encircle the trunk. Yeah, like the big boys. Wow. My mother used to have 2 of those in the backyard of her house, but she just cut those down. I don't know why.
J Love, appreciate you being here. Great show. Thank you for that.